Like, that has totally cleared up those symptoms for me. Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Andrea. I am a nutritional therapist and a certified personal trainer. And my mission and passion is to help people overcome chronic illness and disease through lifestyle changes and nutrition. So the last video I had posted was about my POTS journey. If those of you who don't know what POTS is, it's postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. So this is a disease or a syndrome that I had got diagnosed with a couple years ago, and I became completely bedridden because of it. But in today's video, I just really want to talk about blood sugar. I wore a continuous glucose monitor to see if some of my symptoms were correlating to low blood sugar. And I was actually surprised to see my symptoms correlating to different things. I did not use, it's over there in a drawer. I did it for 2 weeks. I used the brand called Stello. This is not a sponsorship. But I did purchase like a whole month. So I have another one. I didn't really document anything these 2 weeks. I did take screenshots of stuff, which I'll show you. And I documented that way, but I didn't document any video. So I might do another one and actually like put the glucose monitor on and show you the whole process if you guys are interested in that. My friend is so funny. I was terrified to put the glucose monitor on, and my friend was like, you're going to be so embarrassed after you do it, because it's literally, you don't feel anything. So I'll maybe walk you through all of that process and maybe do some more real-time footage of that. But I just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit because, like I said, I was kind of surprised. So with chronic illness and really any disease state, it's really important that we keep our blood sugar stable. When our blood sugar rises, our body has to pump out insulin, and sometimes it can go on a roller coaster all day. And that just causes a lot of stress, a lot of inflammation in our body. So if we can kind of keep that blood glucose spike to a minimum, it's optimal for our health. Most of you know that I eat pretty clean, and if I do eat out, I typically will just get meat. But I was really wanting to experiment with this, so I actually ate some bread and things like that I never eat. And actually, it kind of spiraled me. It's kind of why I've been missing for a while. It spiraled me, and I had so much pain, and like a lot of my symptoms, like I had so much inflammation from. I don't think it was from the blood sugar spike. It was just because I was like eating things that I thought were going to spike my blood sugar, and they did. And it was just really eye-opening to see all of those things. One thing, obviously, that spikes blood sugar is stress. And so I actually saw that when I would do certain exercises, like if I were to walk on this stair stepper, that would also increase my blood glucose. It would just shoot up. But eating fruits and some carbohydrates that I thought were actually beneficial or had enough fiber that it would actually lower the glucose, and it didn't. So one of them was rice, which was very sad. I ate sushi, and it was interesting because I also had protein and fats with it, and it still spiked my glucose. But I will have to say, sushi typically does have sugar in it. So it's like the rice has sugar in it and stuff. So maybe that's not a fair chance. Maybe if I made it at home, it would be different. But ultimately, sushi spiked my blood sugar. Anything with rice spiked my blood sugar. Dates spiked my blood sugar. The other fruits like the low glycemic berries and stuff, that was fine. Oatmeal spiked my blood sugar. And again, I don't eat these things regularly. I was eating them to kind of see what was happening. And I'm actually kind of glad that I kind of took those out. Because I also did notice how I felt. So when I would get a blood sugar spike, I would get kind of anxious, And then I would get like super, super tired afterward, like when I was crashing. Like so tired, there were some days where I had to take a nap. And I was like, wow, this is really affecting me in a negative way. And so there were days where I would eat something that I knew would spike my blood sugar. For example, I ate dates. And instead of just like, sorry, I'm messing with my water bottle lid. Instead of just like eating dates, especially by themselves. Actually, let me back up. The one time I ate dates, I actually had chicken with it, and it still spiked my glucose. So I was interested, and I didn't work out afterwards. So what I did was I had that same meal. I had chicken and dates, and I'll put them up here so you can see. I had chicken and dates, and my glucose didn't spike because I used it as a pre-workout, and I within 30 minutes I started lifting. Not doing cardio, I started lifting, and it was a leg day. So my glucose didn't spike. It rose a little bit, right? It's supposed to have a little bit of rise when you eat. So I'm like, okay, if and when I consume dates, which are higher in sugar, I'm going to use that as a pre-workout. Now there are other foods that I didn't try, but I did try like almond flour crackers. Simple Mills is a really good brand. It's a really, really clean brand, and I ate some with a beef stick, mind you. And I had a serving, so it was about 17, and my blood sugar still spiked. There's cassava flour in it, which can be higher in carbohydrate, but like the total amount of carbohydrates wasn't high. So I was actually really surprised that those spiked my blood sugar. So the whole goal of this was to honestly help my body composition and see like why my body was having to push out all this insulin and why I was having a hard time losing weight and had a lot of brain fog and things like that. Because I was carnivore for about 2 years. Most of you, if you've been following me, you know that. And I was carnivore because of the chronic illness with all the Lyme and the mold and POTS and stuff. And I really enjoyed it, but I wasn't able to get enough food in. And I really didn't plan on being carnivore the rest of my life. I did it as a tool and a therapeutic diet to get myself to where I was able to eat other foods. Really about this time last year, I started adding in foods again, and I had put on some weight, and I was eating more calories, but also I was eating things that were spiking my blood sugar, and I started not to feel good in other ways. My face started breaking out, a lot of bloat, more brain fog, and like laziness, I guess you could say. I didn't feel good. Where before, when I was full carnivore, I actually did struggle a little bit with fatigue. I feel like I wasn't eating enough. So I had added some food in, but I think I kind of went, I don't want to say that I have issues, but if I cook rice, it's really hard for me just to eat a little bit. So I kind of just stay away from those foods because I just tend to overconsume them. And that's just a me thing. If you can eat a cup of rice and be fine, that's great. But I typically cannot do that. So a couple of things that I learned from those 2 weeks was with my body is any type of carbohydrate that's higher glycemic index and less fiber, so like the dates and the oatmeal and the rice, I need to really either eat those in really small amounts or use them as pre-workout so it doesn't spike my blood sugar. And I will tell you this, I was struggling with my workouts, and I had spoke to a couple people, and they had suggested, eating a little bit more carbohydrates before my workout. And it's actually really helped. So typically before a workout, I'll do, I don't do pre-workout. I will do my electrolytes. I use Redmond's, and then I'll have like some dates and a beef stick, or some type of meat and then dates, or I just got some mango, and I'll do like some of the higher sugar fruit with some type of protein. And my workouts have been awesome. I've been getting stronger. I've lost a lot of inches. I've lost a couple pounds. I'm really, really happy about where things are going. I have a really structured program that I'm following. I've just been really, really disciplined, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling strong. I would say I'm probably the healthiest I've been since I got sick a couple years ago. And that says a lot. Because even before I got sick, I was still like struggled with a lot of health issues. So I would say right now I'm probably the best I've felt, despite I still deal with some health anxiety. Yeah, so I'm totally off topic. So blood sugar. So let me go into more of an educational thing for you who are wondering about blood sugar. So I've read a lot of things, and I've heard some people who struggle with POTS saying that there's a blood sugar correlation, and this article is from Healthline. And it says that POTS can reduce your insulin sensitivity, which means that it's harder for your body to process sugar. While POTS is definitely different from hypoglycemia, the symptoms can look similar. So I'm just going to keep reading this. POTS can make you feel dizzy, fatigued, or faint after eating high-carb meals. While this may result in an issue with blood sugar regulation, some experts wonder if there's more to it. What I noticed, because I was working when I had my glucose monitor on, I was walking around this plant checking eye wash stations. I do like safety stuff for businesses, and I started to feel like dizzy and faint, and that's just something that I get with the POTS. And I had my glucose monitor on, so I pulled out my phone and I was checking it, and I did not have low blood sugar. And you know what? It helped me so much because I didn't freak out. Before, when I didn't have the glucose monitor, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have low blood sugar. I need to go eat something. I need to whatever. This time, I just took a couple deep breaths. I'm like, my blood sugar's not low. Everything's fine. And all of those symptoms passed instead of me having to eat something or consume something. And I think that was probably a reason too for getting extra calories, because I was anxious about my symptoms, so I would consume food because it would I feel like it would minimize some of the symptoms. And so that was huge in my tracking, because now it confirmed that I did not have low blood sugar. And in fact, it was something else. So what I learned a lot with POTS and chronic illness is like brain retraining is super important, because we can get these symptoms and there could be literally nothing going on, and it's just a reaction that our brain will, when it feels unsafe, it'll create these symptoms, especially if it's been a chronic ongoing thing. I listened to a couple people like Dan from Pain For You, and I did a brain retraining program. I can't remember what it's called. Origin, I think. But as far as that goes, I do more faith-based brain retraining, so I really speak over myself with scripture. And whenever I feel uneasy, I really just start to pray, and I start to redirect my thoughts to the Lord. And so instead of going immediately to like, oh, I have low blood sugar, I need to fix this problem, I like checked my glucose monitor and it was fine. I'm like, okay, I'm fine. And so I just like prayed and really retrained my brain in that area. And now I have like less, if not, like, that has totally cleared up those symptoms for me. Like, I don't think I've had those symptoms since I used the glucose monitor. So that was super interesting. Really, really interesting. Again, this is not obviously like backed science data or anything like that. It's just my experience with using a glucose monitor and having POTS. So take it with a grain of salt, but also give it a try. Give it a try. This is not sponsored. I used a Stelo glucose monitor, and I already ate a pretty healthy diet, but I did expand a little bit to see what would cause my glucose spikes. So I guess to summarize this, I don't think my POTS is correlated to blood sugar at all. Having glucose spikes can maybe cause inflammation and cause some anxiety and can maybe exacerbate POTS symptoms, but I don't think they're like linked up in a sense of like one causes the other. I don't think that, but regardless of any disease that you have, your metabolic state is super important. Our metabolism is more than just how quickly you burn calories. It's how efficiently you turn nutrients into energy. And if you're having a hard time pushing the sugar into your cells and you're having to pump out a bunch of insulin to do that, your metabolism's messed up. And that can cause a whole host of issues. And just like these past 3 months, hopefully I'll be showing you guys, probably not for a couple months, but I have videos every month of me just showing my progress, and it's just super exciting because I just can't wait to see how I'll be, in a couple years from now, just maintaining these things and getting stronger, which is my main focus. Yes, I do want to build a physique that I'm proud of, but I also want to be 80 years old and be able to run up a flight of stairs and carry my grandchildren. Like, that's my ultimate goal, is for a long life of longevity. And again, Lord willing, I hope that my efforts will keep me healthy and strong and free of disease. So it's just really, really been a humbling year for me. But again, I keep getting sidetracked. I'm just kind of so excited of everything that's going on. But yeah, so let me summarize this. Let me back up and summarize this again. So glucose monitors, if you're dealing with chronic illness, if you have Lyme, POTS, mold illness, any of those things, I actually encourage you to check out a glucose monitor and see and track all of your findings and record everything. It's really cool. You can like put in your meals, or if you were stressed, or if you just worked out, or if you slept poorly, which also affects our blood sugar. And so it's really important. And those are really the foundations of our health. And this is what I teach when I work one-on-one with people, is the foundations. We focus on blood sugar regulation, we focus on digestion, we focus on sleep, we focus on stress management, and also if you want to do deeper biblical spiritual work, I will do that. I'm working on getting a biblical counseling certification, which is awesome. I'm super excited. I've been learning so much in these classes. I've been really just counseling myself in a way. But I'm happy to be able to minister to other people. And then, of course, I can do lab works. I can check for hidden infections. I do believe that parasites and fungus and mold and, bacteria like Lyme, I think those things do affect us and cause issues. And so we do need to address those things, but we have to get those foundations down first. You can do a Lyme protocol, you can do a mold protocol, but if you're not sleeping and you're stressed and you're eating cake for every meal, you're not going to get better. You have to change your life. Our terrain is really where that health comes from. And when our terrain is sick and poor, that's when all those infections start to take over. So if we can clean up the terrain, it's not hospitable for those pathogens to stay in our body, we will heal. We will heal. I truly believe that we are designed to heal. And I just want to give you guys hope, really. Again, try the glucose monitors if you want. I think it's super fun to track everything. Don't be scared of it like I was putting it into my arm. Shout out to Christina. She was a trooper, helped me out with all of that. I'm super excited on this journey that I'm on, healing, and I'm so glad that you guys are doing it with me. If you guys have any questions or want to work one-on-one with me, please comment below and I'll get that information for you. If you want other educational videos, please let me know what you want to learn about or hear about. I'm going to be traveling for the next 2 weeks, so I'm probably going to be putting some vlogs up. I've done that periodically when I travel. It's just fun, especially because like I don't typically eat out, so I like cook all my meals and stuff like that. But it's going to be a fun couple 2 weeks. It's going to be really busy, but I'm excited, and I'm so grateful for how far the Lord has taken me. I really am. And I'm excited to share that journey with you all. So I will see you in the next one, and remember to eat your steak.